Are you happy with what happened here?
I thought it was terrific. I mean, I really appreciate and commend the leadership for opening it up, not just to other commission members, to the press as a whole, to really, begin to sort of become more open and transparent with all of the issues that we're talking about and decisions that we need to make. It's obviously there are enormous issues that we have as a commission to have to deal with, and I think being able to have the free flow of information and discussion prior to making decisions is a critical part of that process, so I very much appreciate it.
And I'll ask you the same question I asked Mr. Hendrick. If you had to have a choice between hiring more employees to reduce the caseload or giving a pay raise to existing workers, where would you fall on that scale?
I don't know that I have enough information yet at that point. I mean, I think certainly among the things that as a commission and a process I would want to do is really get kind of the feedback and sort of pros and cons from various key stakeholders that are more knowledgeable about it than I am. So, I think the piece that I feel pretty strongly about is that in order that we do, given the kind of competing demands, the tough part of our job is we do have to make tough choices, and those tough choices involve needing to prioritize some needs over others. And I think in order to be in the best position to be able to do that, it's useful to hear the feedback from various key stakeholders prior to actually making that kind of decision.
And I had a question, and it just totally slipped my mind. The fact that, we're now starting the process of the fiscal year 13 budget. You only just passed a couple months ago the fiscal year 12 budget. I know there are requirements, that is causing this, but does it make sense to be talking about fiscal year 13 when you're only like 3 months into fiscal year 12?
Well, I would say in my view, it actually sort of in terms of among the kinds of improvements I would love to be able to see is for us to be doing multi-year budgeting. I mean, I think one of the things, when we make decisions for 1 year that have an impact and an implication for a future year, it's always important to keep that in mind. That's, for example, why I asked the question I did about the 4- and 5-star rate, to say we're in favor of a $2 million increase in 4- and 5-star rate in fiscal 13, but we only get a certain portion of that funded during that year, such that then in fiscal 14, what we spent $2 million on in fiscal 13 might cost us $7 million in fiscal 14. We need to know that at the time we're doing that, because it basically commits us to additional funding in the future years. So I would say it is a part of the process that no sooner than we have approved a budget work plan for fiscal 12 do we need to shift into what do we want for fiscal 13. And I think as we develop a longer-term strategy for the agency, I certainly think that multi-year budget forecasting will, I hope, be the same kind of tool that we use that other businesses use.
Okay, and finally, do you have you had any talks or anything about being on the budget committee under the new structure, new members?
I don't know what the process is for appointing membership. Again, from my standpoint, assuming that the budget committees that the budget committee will comply with the Open Meeting Act, and that all commissioners will be welcome to attend. Whether or not I am or not a member of the budget committee is not material to me. What is material to me is that I would be able to come and listen and participate in any discussions that are going on, even if I didn't have a vote in what was going on at that point, because I'd have a vote later in the process.